Hello, class. For today's lesson, we're going to have a look at DC Universe Classics Wave 9. There we go. Figure number 2, Deadshot. There he is here in his package. A quick look at the side there. There's how much I paid for it. It comes with a piece of chemo. I'm going to say chemo. No, I can never remember if it's chemo or chemo or... I don't know, I'll just say chemo. So there we go. We have, what's that, the right arm? Underneath. Some stuff we don't care about. We'll skip that. On the back of the card, though, we can see that there is also Wildcat, there's Deadshot, Guardian, there's Black Adam, there's Mantis. He looks kind of weird. Anyways, Black Canary. You can't get Green Arrow, who comes with a figure stand, which is awesome. Not really. And you can put all that together to build Chemo. Some walking cesspool of toxic sludge or something, I don't know. Seems kind of like a Ninja Turtle villain to me. Anyways, so a brief biography on Deadshot. To escape the memories of a family altercation that left his father paralyzed and his brother dead, Floyd Lawton moved to Gotham City where he began his career as a criminal. In the process, he trained himself to become a highly skilled marksman and adopted the name Deadshot. During one of his many stays in prison, that's because he keeps getting his ass whipped, Lawton was offered amnesty for past offenses if he would accept a potentially fatal mission on behalf of the U.S. government as a member of the Suicide Squad. Since then, Lawton has worked both on his own as a criminal and occasionally as a member of the squad. And he first showed up in Batman, number 59. Look at that. 1950. This guy's a geezer, too. Doesn't anybody have any new and interesting comic characters anymore? He's Floyd Lawton. He's a merc. I bet Deadpool would kick this guy's ass. He operates out of Gotham City, and he's an expert with firearms, projectile weapons. He's good at fisticuffs, and etc., etc. I don't really know a lot about this figure. He showed up and was that Batman, was it Gotham Knights, that anime-style DVD that came out, and he looked horrible. But most I've seen him is in Justice League. He showed up in a couple episodes there, and he showed up as in Task Force X in one of the later episodes, which I think was supposed to be Suicide Squad. They just didn't want to call it that. But anyways, that is a look at Deadshot in his packaging. We can see there's a big arm in there, which is what we buy these figures for, right? So, if we come back in a second, we're going to open up Deadshot. Okay, and we'll have a closer look. Continue with our look at Deadshot from DCUC. Going to give you a quick, just 360 look at the figure here, before we talk about him a little bit more. Now, the color scheme, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Deadshot, just really from what I've seen from Justice League, but I'm pretty sure that's the colors that we expect to have. He's got silver on his upper chest and his lower torso here, which I'm guessing is supposed to be bulletproof or protective in some way. He still has the different colored pants or underwear on the outside, which is mildly annoying. We've got red over a lot of the rest of him, and his boots. What is the deal with these things on the boots anyway? Anyways, and his hands are bright yellow. Probably matches the accents we've got here and here. Honestly, I don't know why he has the yellow. I'm more of a maybe 2-color kind of person. The third I find is mildly annoying. And then on his eye, we can see if the camera will focus. There we go. He's got the, I guess, the sight, which is red with a little bit of black on there, and it is silver to show that it's metal, instead of some cheap plastic. His head, though, is just kind of a dull gray, matching his underwear down here. His boxers, whatever. His shorts. I guess it's to show that they're different. This would be cloth, whereas this is metal, which I guess this is cloth too, even though I'd want to protect that area a little bit more. But at any rate. Now, in terms of the mold, now, again, a lot of the bits of the mold, you know what, similar DCU as everybody else. So, like most of them, they seem to take the generic figure, but this one has a lot of extra bits that they've worked in. Besides the fact, I'm wondering if this is the standard head. But we've got the eyepiece on there, we've got this part which is textured, even the upper torso here, this metal plate, has texture to it. We've got the extra, I guess they're supposed to be ammo or bombs on his arms. We've clearly got this large forearm mounted gun. His belt, which I think is something they added on because it's a different plastic, or at least it is here. I don't know what these are supposed to be anyway. Extra bullets or grenades or something. And then if we move down to his boots, we've got the extra layer on this side, and we've got these, they look like shin guards and I guess kind of a foot guard for kicking the hell out of people, which I guess that's what they're supposed to be for. It looks like it because they've got little bolts on it, which looks like they're meant to hold them in place. For articulation, you know what? Standard DCUC figure. His head is going to rotate around. Doesn't move up or down at all. Some of them seem to, some of them don't. Shoulder goes all the way around. We can rotate again at the bicep. Bend his elbow here a little bit, and his hand is going to turn at the wrist. We've got that joint in the torso that lets him look up and down. We can rotate his waist all the way around and his hips. Go forward, backwards a little bit, out to the side. Oh, we can rotate at the thigh, bend the knee here, and of course the ankle is going to bend as well. There we can have a look at him. So again, standard articulation, what we'd expect. But it is nice that it's got a little more detail than some of the other DCUC figures in that they've added extra bits. I know it's still more or less the same mold. Now, the only thing that this figure comes with is it comes with a piece of chemo. I'm just going to say chemo from now on. And here we've got, I guess it would be the right arm. Yeah. No. Anyways, I'll say an arm. I can't remember. Anyways, we've got an arm of chemo, and we'll have a look at that probably more when we assemble this thing. But you can see the arm is huge. It's going to be a little more than half the size of Deadshot, which means this figure, when this thing gets put together, is going to be stinking large. There we have Deadshot. I don't really have too much else to say about this figure. I do like it, just because I did like the Deadshot character on the show, Justice League. I haven't followed him too much in the comics. I know he was part of the Suicide Squad or whatever. These guns on the forearms would have to get so annoying so quickly. But, you know what? I don't really have too much else to say. It's a decent figure. I like the character. So I think this one is, you know, pretty good. If I was going to give this figure a rating, or a grade, I'd have to give this figure a grade of, you know what, a B. He's pretty good. It's not one of the best ones I've seen, but I do like him a fair bit. So, especially if you want to collect chemo, I think you're going to have to pick him up. So I think that is going to be our lesson for DC Universe Classics Deadshot. Thank you very much. Class is dismissed.